Good morning, everyone. It's Ros Boundy Psychic Medium, as the psychic medium this morning, of course, because I'm more than just that. It's a label that we do create for ourselves with many who we are's in our lifetimes. Here we go. We're here for our Daily LENORMAND card spread reading. And Keza, good morning to you. Can you hear me? I'm not sure whether I've echoed, blocked off, muted, or whatever. I'm assuming I can be heard, even though over on my time, I did mute it. So I suppose if I unmute that, can you hear me? Can, good, so that's all right. Don't need to ask the question. Yes, thank you. I just did it quickly that way. Because of the way that I do the two sets of camera work type stuff with platforms, Be Live and Ecamm, it does sometimes, by error, mine, come up with echo, 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 echo. It's okay here. Yeah, it is. It's fine here too. So I'm going to move over to the cards straight away. Good morning from Darwin. Did you have a good sleep last night after the flight? Early start yesterday and the flight. I bet you have. Going to switch over to the cards. Tune into your energies that are your connection with spirit, and whatever way that you like to actually connect to those things that you're receiving. You know, that those little inner messages that you receive. We only put labels on it. We all have the ability, so just tune in and see where your eyes actually focus on the card. So good morning, Kiani. Beautiful photo there. Now I'm going to show my hands aren't working this morning. It's really interesting, isn't it? How sometimes they freeze up. Well, the left one definitely has. You have escaped the cage. Your wings are stretching out. Now fly. Isn't it a beautiful? I just love this deck of cards. They're gorgeous. And Rumi was the one credited with that quote. So stretch out those wings and fly. We've had quite a few of those sort of references in the cards lately. We do need to get above what is the, the base stuff that is at the ground level, I suppose, really, and bring forward what is that visual that we lift ourselves and just imagine yourself flying above everything. And that's another way to be a witness, isn't it? To fly above, float above, see what there is that's happening in an objective way around and about us. And that's where the cards can actually help a bit. So that was the Owl card. We've got the Inner Soul Guidance Oracle deck as well. Whoops. That is this next one, which is Rise. And Veronica, good morning to you. And you're watching a big bird hopping, double P, tree to tree here. That's just the proofreading part of me. Good morning, Roz. Good morning, Nikki. Good morning. And it is a happy Saturday to you. And it was as I was actually finished laying the cards, and I couldn't be bothered picking them up and redoing it with the other decks. On Saturdays and Sundays, I usually do the other Lenormand decks, not the Gilded Reverie. But here we've got Leanne and Deb's card, Rise. Get in touch with your true self. Enjoy your moments. Enjoy being you. And that's where these cards do help at times with getting to know who you are. Good morning, Mary. Lovely to see you here. And yes, those cards are wow. Exactly. Just perfect. Perfect in how we get our messages as and when we need them. Now, what we've got here this morning too is, and I'm just going to, no, I'll do that a bit later. So I will go through it as it's the normal deck, as it's the normal spread, because that's how I've laid them out now. And Penny, good evening to you, Penny, all the way over the other side of the world, isn't it? It's lovely to see you here. Thank you, Penny. And Kez is saying good morning to Mary. I love how we've become this little community that shows up every morning at this time, well, or evening for you, Penny, and others. I think Stevie's another one who's over in UK. So really spread around globally, isn't it? And it's wonderful, the technology that we have to be able to do this. So what we've got the magnifying glasses in the home space. We've got the whip and broom that's in workspace. Time is that unexpected. And we've got the tower as our role, and the birds, those beautiful owls, right in the center. So straight away, I absolutely loved this spread, purely because it's got one of my favorite birds in there is the owl. And the other, I'm sure where you are, Shaz, you've got the little emoji of an eagle. I'm sure there's a lot of wedge-tailed eagles on the way heading up towards Darwin too. Although in a plane, you probably didn't get to actually see those at that eye level, but they certainly are there. And there's Mary saying morning back to Keza, I would think. And it's going to be a very warm 36 degrees today where you are. Oh, gosh. Gosh, I prefer to be in the cold where I am here, thank you. I'm not into heat. It certainly isn't my realm. So enjoy your holiday, Shaz. This is the first full day of your holiday, isn't it, really? The day you spend travelling is not counted. So here we go. Look through that magnifying glass at your home space, at your relationships, at whatever is involved with your home. There is things that are needing to be just tidied up a little bit, or excuse me, or things delved into with a little bit more detail as far as someone in the family relationship wise. It's not just on the physical level that we're looking at what these cards are certainly showing us. But I do feel that, excuse me, as there's the dustiness in here for some reason. Hold on. Something is tweaking my throat. So there's communication. There's communication involved in this, and especially since it's next to the owls. So it's something that's needing to be looked at with a bit more detail in how you're actually speaking with someone or listening. You need to be doing both. It's not just I've got to tell you something. You need to be listening back. And so it might be to do with how you're needing to arrange some things in your home space, the actual physical level. I did end up unpacking one more box from out in the courtyard yesterday. So I know there's a few more probably that I'm needing to actually look through and unpack today and gradually weed that down. So there's none left there. So we'll see. There are some ideas around what you might need to be doing in your home space. And there's Kim saying hello. Good morning. It's lovely to see you here. And it's 22 there already. 22 I can handle with. It's what I set my air conditioner to. That's fine if it stays that way. And send some heat this way, please, is coming from Keza. Probably a good, nice request, isn't it? And Shaz, me with interaction with sisters tests me at times. And you're in the realms of family, aren't you? When that's what you're going to be doing with some of your holiday, isn't it? Catching up with family. So have a good time. Yes, it can be testing, but that's why we've chosen the family members we have as well. So Kim, oh my God, you've done that cough choke thing all week. It is to do with communication. So take that as a when you're starting to cough, there's something either you are trying to get out that's not quite coming. Breathe into it, like just fly above how the situation is around you at the time that happens, and sort of think, what am I saying? What am I not saying that needs to be said? Or am I meant to be listening? Is there something triggering this, as far as what's happening? It could be that you are reacting to smoke or something that's in the air, an irritant. But 9 times out of 10, I feel that type of it can be because there's something you're needing to say, or another is trying to say to you and you need to listen. So we're moving on. I just realised how glary that light is through the window. It is full sun coming up now. So that's why it is looking a bit washed out. Now we're going to move on to the birch broom and the whip that is in our workspace. To me, that really does mean instantly it is that get it cracking. It's the history of my farming background life, having a whip that used to crack behind the cows when we did milking. And even, just moving cows from paddock to paddock, you'd have a whip on hand. And it's not to beat them, it was just to give that crack of noise to get them moving if they're in the wrong direction or just a bit slow. And like kids, we're always a bit impatient, so you'd use it a fair bit. Poor cows. What that with the dogs and the dogs at the heels and the sound of a crack and whip above their heads, a bit interesting. But that was it. That was the life. It's the way we handled and managed those, the cattle and the sheep at times. None was hurt in the process, I can tell you. We weren't that good at the whip to be doing that. It was just the sound. Here we go with the time. Oh, and as far as in the work, it is. That's what it is. It's really there's some areas that might need a bit of a clean sweep and start again, get it rolling. Okay. And it's your hand to that as well. In both instances, they're both tools that need to have a hand to them to actually get them moving, working, and doing what they're designed to, really. The time, that's actually self-explanatory, because in the unexpected, it's going to pop in that whatever you're doing at what time, it is going to be the perfect time, but have the awareness about you that you're not wasting it through the day. You're being productive, and even resting is being productive. That's on the inner side that you're actually doing the resting at times. And it's absolutely fine and okay. That's where time is. It's something we've constructed to gauge how we're progressing in something, and that is time. But really, it doesn't exist. If you really look at quantum physics and some of that type of scientific study, you start to understand that it doesn't exist, and all things are on all levels are coexisting through all time simultaneously. A very, very hard concept to understand, but so very interesting. So give it a go and just letting things flow as the time is going to be in its perfect space and place. Okay. We've got the tower in our role. So it's standing, I'm feeling that for today, it probably is standing firm in what we're doing and not floating off too far into the rabbit holes and things like that. It's just being in that firm structure and growing, it's like a foundation type of thing where grounding, like that sort of thing. You feel grounded right from the start. If you need to get some ritual or ceremony happening, that you actually are imagining your feet planted into the ground like the giant tree or the foundations of a really good, big, strong building tower that's lasted for many centuries. And of course, London Bridge, London Tower, although, the structures and everything, there's been there for centuries. Just imagine you're that well grounded so that you can move into your day feeling that solidity, that security, and anything you're going to do from that point up is going to be building on that foundation of growing into knowing who you are as well. Each step and everything that we do does that for us. We're just not aware of it sometimes until we look back in hindsight and think, oh, so that's why that happened, and all that process, everything that we've experienced in our life to this point has brought us to where we are now. It's that concept. And continuing to build on it. So our tomorrow, it is our history for the next day, So here we go with the owls, that beautiful card that really is the center of today and giving us that basis of real good communication from the wise sense of our inner knowing, all the experiences we've had, which I just mentioned, being who we are right now, and using that as the basis of where we're going to move it into for tomorrow, and actually taking the time to actually feel into it, think before we speak sometimes, and all of that that's involved with the good communication in our wisdom. It's not saying that everything that we're going to be saying is needed to be wise and, like we're over the top educated and all that sort of stuff for the situation we're speaking in. It's just having that nous and inner knowing of when we need to be speaking, when we need to be listening, how we need to be doing what we're doing, using our skills wisely so that we are being productive at the right time and etc. Building up in who we are, building up and up. There is so much strength in just being you. You don't have to put mighty force into everything that you do so that you're pushing it and forcing it. Just allow that being who you are to continue to grow who you are and into what is your purpose. At times we can look back and think, well, that was my purpose for that time. It doesn't mean really that there's one ultimate goal purpose that our whole life has been designed for. Each and every step of our way is actually part of that we can say we've actually had already to date multiple times where it's been our purpose in life is for this moment. So it's called, being present and understanding that. So, yeah. So what I'm wanting to do this morning, because I did spend some time last night, for those of you who were here last night and present in our Fridays Intuitive chat with Leanne and me, and whatever. The two of us were together and I was playing a little competition. Now, I have got together the names that are for that competition. Now, I've just got to bring the shared screen up for this because, excuse me, I did put all of the names. The whole idea that I used for this was, now, how do I share the screen here? I think I go back to there. I'm trying to bring it up without the names attached. I don't want that. I've got to go to full screen before I do it. Right. It came up with what I did was ask people to put Fritz into the comments. That's it, Kim. Yes, I was just trying to find my page again. And, you can fully resonate with what I'm saying with the spread today. Well, I saw the owls and I thought, yay, this is for me because I love the owls. They are my totem. They are one of my totems. You know how a totem pole isn't always just the one icon or whatever in it. I've got an owl, I've got a dolphin, and there's probably something else too. So I asked people to put Fritz in the comments and it was supposed to trigger, and this was only on my @Ros Boundy page, but it didn't trigger my ManyChat keyword messenger thing that you go and put it in a form itself. Oh, thank you, Keza. Wonderful. So what I'm going to do, here we go. There's the spinner. I've put all the names into the spreadsheet manually that were there. So I'm going to solo this and we shall roll the spinner. And I'm hoping that this works out. I've got to find the page on the screen again. So here we go. I'm going to give a party noise. Let's see if we can hear that. And here we go with this spinning. Can you hear it? And it is Jessica Fisher's the winner of the free reading. So this is what is a wheel of names. And I'm devising this so that I can continue these. I've got that there now. So that I can continue these as a an option. I'm trying to finesse how I do this. So last night was the first one using the ManyChat. Yeah, something in the flow didn't quite work. So manually, there you go. Thank you, Jessica. And you'll be getting a message from me at some point shortly. It is pretty cool, Veronica. As you know, you guys, I love pressing the buttons. That's what I was doing. So yay for me. I got some of it worked out. Okay. The other thing I just want to remind everyone is if you are in the Whyalla region or the Renmark. Oh, that's supposed to be Jolly Whyalla. Well, there's the Renmark one. Now I've got to load up the one that is Whyalla. So because that one's got the dates, just hold on a second and I'll show that one up as well, because this is Leanne and I have really enjoyed visiting Mount Gambier when we went there last month, and that's got to focus. And is it going to focus? Oh, I picked a bad one, didn't I? That one's not focusing. I don't know why. Let me try another one. And this is where the pressing the buttons come in, isn't it? So, oh, come on, upload. That wasn't doing it right. I had it here last night and it's not coming up. Not coming up. Is that one better? Let's have a look at that one. Let's see if that shows up better. In focus and all that stuff. Let's see. So, oh, it's a bit better. Not really. But anyway. So, 6th to 8th of August, which is next weekend. Friday to Sunday. So Leanne and I are really enjoying road trips around the country regions and doing weekends of reading. So that's what we're doing. For me, I'm just going to put my Calendly link there. And for any that are in either of those places and spaces on those dates, I will be there with Leanne. Leanne is booked up fully for the Whyalla one, but she has got spaces in her Renmark booking list. I've got spaces in both. So there's my Calendly link. It's definitely the set different booking sections. You know, you'll find it if you're needing to do that. Share it with those who you feel in those areas are wanting to have readings. I do cover mine as doing. It's not just the readings. I can do some healings if needed, as in hypnosis and whatnot, but we are sticking to what we know. Well, we're making it readings weekends. So we both do healings, but we're making it reading weekends because it's something that not every area has a abundance of readers, psychic mediums of sorts. And it's lovely to experience the different people coming in to visit particular areas too. So Leanne, having been across the state a fair bit over her time as a psychic medium, I feel like I'm still just starting, but it's a way of getting out there and sharing our skills for those who are wanting reading. So if you know anyone at Whyalla or at Renmark who'd be open for a different reading, certainly ask them to have a look at the Calendly or our Facebook pages or whatever, or even the examples of how I do this, and we do our Fridays intuitive chat readings. So good morning, Sarah. Lovely to see you here. Wonderful, wonderful. I love that, Clover. So that's the reading for this morning. Have a wonderful weekend to all of you. So keep being the best yous. You're growing into being more and more of the best you. Just take that out and into the world, or sit with it in peace on that inner level until you feel confident to take it out into the world. It's not something you have to push into. It is just being you. Keep being the best you, and love to all of you. Namaste. Oh, thanks, Mary.